crossover, quick release. Oh, baby, and the foul. Woo. Offensive rebound for Watson.
32 seconds, shot clock differential about 14 seconds. 3-point lead.
Who run shit like me? Top 5 basically. I still play for keeps, ain't no fantasy, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural episode of Divine Providence, the long-awaited episode number 1. We got a lot of fun in store for you today. We're going to preview the season a little bit. We've got some sound bites locked and loaded from the PCBC. So, we've been wanting to do this for a while, and we really think it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of tap into the PCBC, talk about the team. Obviously, you guys know we're diehard Friar fans. So for those who don't know me, Leb, I'm going to be your host. I also have Mac with me. So, Mac, why don't you take it away? Tell us a little about yourself and, how your fandom started.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong Rhode Islander, born and raised at the Dunk. Obviously, PC is the pro team in Rhode Island. So just growing up and in the era that I grew up where tickets were like $5 to go, it was pretty convenient to go there as much as possible. So Friars sicko, just like pretty much anyone listening probably. I think my lane, I guess, in PCBC is the video guy, just editing hype videos, I guess. Everyone's got to find a lane, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Ratio Jeff Goodman the other day, so I'll add that to the resume. And yeah, just the absolute Friars sicko and ready to get this thing rolling. I do want to give you your flowers though, Leb, real quick, because obviously the name of this podcast is Divine Providence. That's probably how the general public knows you on Twitter is through Divine Providence. I just want to say I'm happy to be a part of this. I think we're going to transcend the way people take in Big East content. I think we got a lot of fun stuff planned. And you can't write the history of PCBC without mentioning Divine Providence. So I'm happy to be a part of it. So shout out to you. Yeah. It's an honor that you asked me to be a part of this. Shout out Blue Demon DGen for his brave work.
Yep.
So, but yeah, dude, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, no, we're definitely both excited. There is so much content out there, and I have a very similar story to Mac. We've been talking about this for a very long time. We got a lot to talk about today. There is just a ton of content, and Divine Providence was a thing that, no one can question Friar fans' fandom. I think that was a jumping off point for me where I was able to kind of speak my mind. And that's what this show is going to be about. It's not going to be like, I've tweeted this before, but we're not going to be talking X's and O's as much as maybe other podcasts. We're going to be, showing our personalities and also the personalities of other people that we interact with on a daily basis. Like, you're going to hear some sound bites. So we got some fun stuff lined up. In terms of this past week, we had none other than the inspiration of the name of the show, Ed Cooley. Looks like he's going to take the Virginia job. So, Mac, what were your thoughts on that?
The power of the PCBC is insane. I think Simon Charles reported it first, if I'm not mistaken. I know there was another reporter involved, but I think Simon Charles got to the story first. The fact that it got up to Fox Sports is insane to me. I know, there have been instances like that, a Simon Charles bomb just causes waves in sports media. But like I fully expect PCBC to have the power to swing the election if they wanted to. Like it's unreal, I think. And I was watching a podcast a couple months ago, and they were just talking about how since Cooley left Providence, like the person who was talking that I was listening to, that they had no ties to Providence, no reason to think this whatsoever. But like Ed Cooley's been a punching bag since he left. Like just like not even like regional niche Providence jokes, but like national media jokes.
Right, for sure.
It's unreal to me.
Yeah, it really is. And he just, he does it to himself, like the whole Dr. Martin Luther King thing. Wow. Just, you talk about a guy that just gives you a lot of content, and there's a lot of room to poke fun at him. And listen, I mean, he is living his dream. That's great. But at the end of the day, like, dude, we get it. Like, you're rich. You are, like, he is such a high horse guy. It's so incredible. And his true colors really were shown so much, especially this past 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we play the clip, the Ed Cooley clip, so you guys can hear it?
Let's do it.
Yesterday, quickly, about you going to Virginia. No truth?
Zero truth to that. And, when you have many people who hide behind all these social media platforms, I'm where I need to be. I'm where I want to be. I will tell you this will be my last college job I have. My goal is to make Georgetown basketball powerful again, inspire other people. That's all false news, right? And it's unfortunate that people jeopardize livelihoods, jeopardize people. It's unfortunate. But Martin Luther King's dream will protect them too. They can dream big somewhere else, but don't dream on my dream. I'm living that dream, and it's as a Georgetown Hoya.
Dude, he just gives so much material to work with. It's unreal.
Yeah. There was a lot of tweets, a lot of good tweets, a lot of don't dream on my dream tweets, and it was just like a lot of guys were just like had a beer, and it was just don't dream on my dream. Like, that was everything that he does. He gives us more content. He gives us more jokes to make. And it really is just a never-ending source for us. And thank God for it. I'm excited for the Georgetown game again. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere is just going to be incredible. In terms of, this season, I know we've talked a lot about all off season, really, how this team is going to look, how the season is going to go. There's a lot up in the air. You got Bryce. So before we kind of get into some of the sound bites, things like that, we wanted to talk a little bit about the season. So what are your predictions? What do you have them kind of looking like for this year?
So I think if you take what happened last year, 10-10 in the Big East, I forget what the overall record was, with no Bryce Hopkins. I think that's obviously a huge piece. No secret. Obviously, our season went south once that happened. With Bryce back and then another year under Kim's belt, one full recruiting cycle, I think he understands what the team lacked, what the team needed. And it's a lot of 3-and-D guys from what I've seen. And I think he's a defensive-minded coach whose system generated a lot of open threes. They just didn't hit a lot of open threes. So when you bring in shooters like Jabri or Asandiko, who can stretch the floor, like just these guys who can shoot, like I think one full recruiting cycle for Kim is the team looks great.
My name is Marita.
Oh, we got a nurse cameo here. But so while Leb is occupied with the nurse, I mean, this Friars team is locked and loaded and ready to go. I think Kim knows what they lacked. He addressed those needs clearly. And you get another year of a defensive-minded team. I genuinely think, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, because this is where we were before the Hopkins injury. And I'm an anti-analytics guy, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Friars had a top 10 defense in the country this year. So I have high hopes. I'm one of those weirdos that enjoys watching just great defense. Maybe not to the Virginia level where they're putting up 40 points a game, but I like watching good defensive, hard-nosed basketball, and I think that's what Kim English wants on a team. Yeah,
and sorry for the interruption there. I would
good, man.
More. I know you kind of cooked there. I did have my nurse come in, so I am in the hospital, so I'm battling through.
Yeah. If anyone questions Leb's love for the Friars, you got some assessing to do. I
am in the hospital. It's real. This is a hospital room. It's so just
MTV
sitting down.
Cribs.
Yep. Don't have like my thing on. Don't need it. Got my own shirt on. But doing well. So I appreciate all the support. Obviously, I'll do a little bit of a health update at the end for people who are maybe tuning in for that. But yeah, battling through. Sorry for the interruption. Nurse did come in, but that's totally fine. We're gonna power through. I agree with what I heard, Mac. Kim's MO is defense, athleticism. Obviously, they're going to shoot a lot of threes, and I think it's going to make for a very interesting brand of basketball. When Cooley was here, it was all, it was a lot of slowed down. You had the flex offense, half court offense, Al Skinner, Boston College, JT3, Georgetown type thing. And I mean, it definitely had its place because they were tough and they would, kind of throw their body around a little bit. But the game has evolved, and you need guys who are athletic, who can run the floor, who can play defense, who can block shots, who can steal the basketball, who can, knock down contested threes, open threes. And I think they definitely have that for sure. I didn't really watch all that much of the scrimmage. They just we talked about it on Twitter, saw the box score. Corey Floyd. I mean, he's a huge factor. If Corey Floyd can be anything that he was, like he was in scrimmage this whole season, I mean, I honestly think they're a dangerous team. Obviously, there was some concerns with Wesley Cardette being effective, but I think he'll figure it out. He's a veteran. He's a very talented player. But if you have Floyd, who's a great scoring option on the wing, plus you got Hopkins, you got Pierre, Rich Barron taking another step forward. I do get a lot of excitement about the team. I think in the Big East is very attainable. Some people have them a little bit higher. Some people have them a little bit lower. I'm fine with that. I do ultimately think they'll play in the NCAA tournament this year. And how far they'll go, check back with me after the non-conference, after, the Bahamas, all that good stuff. And I'll be able to give you a little more of an accurate kind of prediction on it.
Mm-hmm. I think, and that, like you said, after Battle for Atlantis, is BYU right after Battle for Atlantis?
I believe so. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a good measuring stick. I think, obviously, it's no secret that those first 5 or so games before Atlantis, like Kim said in his interview last year when they didn't make the tournament, maybe the way to win is just to schedule teams to beat the snot out of. So maybe they'll just beat up on these 5 teams and then get the measuring stick of, you run into an Oklahoma or Arizona and a BYU. So I think obviously there's definitely room for assessment in early December, more so than late October.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely going to be some big time, very good margin victories that will help them, in the net. There's going to be probably some close games, maybe some games, especially early in the year, that we don't want to be that close, but probably will. You have at best non-conference, you might see Bryce a little bit, maybe limited. They're gonna battle. There's no doubt. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you do in Big East play, and that's the beauty of the Big East. Like any given night, anything can happen. There's no, no underdogs except really DePaul and Georgetown. And as long as you put together a really good conference output and you don't have any terrible losses in non-conference, then I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I also think, not for nothing, as unbiased as I would like to be, it's no secret the Big East got screwed last year. Like, I do think even if there's some teams on the cut line come March, whether it's a Providence or a Seton Hall or a Butler on that cut line, like, I think the Big East, at least this year, may get the benefit of the doubt. Like let's say a Butler or someone's last team in, given last year what happened, I think Big East could get the nod right there.
No, I agree. That's a good point. I mean, they kind of always won. You know,
100%.
We'll see. They usually don't work that way. I don't know if it was like maybe a football kind of grudge, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's definitely interesting and something that could happen. I hope we're not sweating it out on Selection Sunday. I mean, that's a stressful time. It's just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So brutal. Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
I was so pissed. Dude, I rarely get mad.
Yeah.
I just literally just ripped my hat off my head, fired at the TV. Probably not the best idea considering how, don't want to replace the TV, but
I was
not the best idea.
Pissed. Like I knew we weren't going to make it. I was definitely pissed, but I was more pissed at the fact that Big East just got screwed so bad. Like,
yeah,
it's such a hard road for the conference when you look at, the teams that made it last year and the teams that were deserving. Like, do you see an avenue, a path for a team like who's 500 in the Big East, who maybe didn't like have a perfect in or non-conference schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a couple bad losses and they went 10-10 in the Big East. 10-10 in the Big East. I don't care what you do in out of conference. 10-10 in the Big East should get you a bit, unless you're just tumultuous in non-conference. But it's all about how you perform, amongst your league. And the Big East is, in my opinion, the most competitive top to bottom league in college basketball. 10 wins, 11 wins. I mean, you should be in, no question.
I think last year was just a product of cannibalism. Like it was, because I mean, what'd you have? You had UConn, who was up there with like 17 wins.
Yeah.
And then the Creighton and Marquette. And then I think 4 through 9 was probably separated by 3 or 4 games. Like it was just everyone was eating each other up, which obviously when you look up in March, it's not going to look great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I really hope next year isn't a repeat of last year. That would be so bad for the league. I have to start the whole, fire valve out.
I will say there's obviously it's been a running joke on Twitter, like cupcake non-con.
Yeah.
But like if you go back and look at Kim's interview on Selection Sunday last year, and he mentioned like, maybe you do have to schedule to beat the snot out of teams in the non-con. You saw the Big 12 do it. They scheduled nobodies and manipulated the analytics. I'm beyond anti-analytics. I'll beat that drum. I hate Ken Palm, Bart Torvik, whatever you want to say. Because they don't paint the whole picture, but the Big 12 completely manipulated those last year. You schedule bad teams, you beat the piss out of them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Big East teams are kind of starting to catch on to that trend where as much as you like to joke about cupcake non-con, well, when you look up in March and the computer nerds are like, oh, this team might be good. We've watched probably 30 minutes of them play basketball all year, but it might be good.
Yeah.
Just from beating the snot out of teams in November.
No, I know. And it really is ridiculous. At the end of the day, as a Friar fan, if you're a Friar fan, it's a rite of passage to hate the analytics. I think that they overlook a lot with our program. Number one is like the dunk is an incredibly hard place to play, and you're going to get some wins there that maybe you don't necessarily deserve, and they're going to be close games. Like that's just how it is, and it's going to take a couple bounces to go your way. But that's how it always has been. And how do you not factor that in? I mean, the game is about wins and losses, right? You use your circumstances to get as many wins as possible. And if you have a home court advantage where you're beating a really good team because, the crowd's into it, whatever, you shouldn't be punished for that. And the whole luck factor thing, it's not luck. It's just the way the game is played and the way the game turns out. Their style of play, I don't know if especially when Cooley was here, because that luck factor thing was a little more prevalent. I think it was just because he played a really slow brand of basketball. And then you had, Jeff Goodman with all their lucky, 2022. And that's when like the Goodman versus PC fan thing just absolutely took off. Now he's just pretty much blocked like everyone. You did ratio him.
I might put that in my bio. I think when we drop the episode, I'm gonna put it in my bio. Ratio Jeff Goodman.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm not blocked. Like a lot of the time I'll just be like, yo, Jeff, shut up.
Yeah. It took me a while to get blocked because so like as a verified account, your reply goes to the top. If there's not like it's like basically like most followers and if you are verified. So every tweet, it would just be like I would just be trolling him and it would be the number one reply and it would have like a ton of likes. And eventually he just got sick of it. He was just like, all right, I'm just blocking this fucking asshole. Don't blame him. Probably should have blocked me a long time ago. What did you say to Goodman?
Goodman said, it was about the Cooley clip. I think he quote tweeted it. And he said, it's a shame that all these people hide behind social media. Basically just regurgitating what Cooley said at the start of that clip. Obviously, Goodman's got to carry Ed Cooley's water for him. So I just responded, you should threaten him with jail time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And obviously that just caught fire.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No, it's really quality. It is, and this is our first episode, right? So not to go back to like Divine Providence and all that, like, but that really is just absolutely wild. Like that.
Yeah.
I've never really spoke about this like in public or, formally, but the audacity to be threatening someone over a documentary that like that he let John Fanta watch and give his stamp of approval before publishing it. And whether Fanta watched it or didn't watch it, like I mean that's on Fanta. Like I love Fanta, he's a great guy, but you can't come and say like, oh, he was protecting Fanta, whatever.
Well, was he protecting Fanta? Because I heard a bunch of like there were like 3 or 4 different reasons. I don't know if he actually came out and said the exact reason. I know they said they were kind of sandbagging Fanta or like honestly, everyone loves Fanta's universally loved. But like
of course.
Some people said like, he was taking Fox Sports footage, this and that. And I feel like there were like 5 reasons thrown around.
I think that basically what was going to happen was the conference, there was rumors that the conference was upset at Fanta, and Fanta was going through a lot. Like his dad was like not doing well, whatever. So I think Goodman, tried to defend him, and dude, like he seems like he's a guy who will completely embarrass himself to, like try to help his friends. And like I'm the same way. I do the same shit. I kind of respect it, whatever. But like, dude, threatening the guy with jail time off of just that's such an erroneous allegation and threat. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I don't know how like he didn't face more severe repercussions from that, like with his podcast and I don't know, just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely stopped. I used to listen to Field of 68 because they were like one of the few like consistent college basketball, media outlets that, they'd throw stuff on YouTube. It was very easy to access their content.
Right.
I completely stopped listening. I love Fanta. Even though he's a UConn fan, I like Doster. But like, I was just like, no, I'm good on Jeff Goodman.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Totally agree. Yeah, that was an interesting time, but fond memories, great memories with that. I think the, Georgetown game this year will bring up a lot of those same memories, the same excitement, the overall feel of that game. There's just very few times when you can go to, an arena, a home arena, and feel that intensity, that passion, that hatred. I mean, I grew up going to, Red Sox Yankee games all the time. The height of the Red Sox Yankee rivalry, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, right? And that you just felt it in the air. There's just so much hatred with that, there was like a lot of Yankee fans, so it was different. This was all PC fans. No Georgetown fans went to that game. Like
There wouldn't have been any Georgetown fans if it was in DC. So
yeah, there's no Georgetown fans in DC, let alone. There was a few like people that were wearing Georgetown stuff because they maybe like liked Ed Cooley or whatever, weirdos. But for the most part, it was all PC fans, and the intensity, the shared hatred that everyone had, the fuck Ed Cooley chants, all that, just absolutely just awesome. So much fun. And I think that this time around, I would like to go to a Georgetown game at Georgetown, maybe do a little trolling down there. And there's going to be a lot of trolling, People are saying there's going to be a lot of trolling. There will be some trolling. We're going to troll. We're going to have some fun. We're going to deliver some good content. This show is going to be, all about content. We're maybe going to do a few interviews. Maybe going to troll some fans. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but good things are definitely going to happen for sure.
If we do an interview, I'm just throwing suggestions out here right now. If we do an interview, let's say we interview someone from each Big East fan base. The UConn one has to be live in a McDonald's. Just a thought. Tell me what you think.
Well, I mean, McDonald's is good. Yeah. I mean, I think it would have to be in a Frank Pepe's pizzeria.
Okay, cool.
In fact, we got one in Warwick. I mean, I think that's pretty close to you, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, we could do one. We could do it in Warwick, or we could do a road. We could do a road game. We could go to maybe New Haven, maybe even meet Frank Pepe himself and shake the hand of the man who has killed thousands of UConn fans with his pizza and his recipe, which is, I mean, he should be tried at this point. Frank Pepe should be tried because he makes good pizza. I thoroughly enjoy the pizza.
For sure.
He's caused significant damage to the UConn fan base. I mean, it's more damage to the UConn fan base than Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn committing to PC over you.
Frank Pepe's is good, just moderation. Maybe that's what UConn fans need to learn is moderation.
They know nothing about moderation. All they want, more championships, more pizza slices. It never ends. It never ends.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. All right, so moving on, not the smoothest transition, but who the hell cares?
We'll work on it. We're on episode 1, man. We got nothing but time.
I'm in the hospital. No one could. So we have a couple guys. Speaking of the hospital, actually, this is a pretty good transition. We have a couple guys that are banged up on the team, and that's kind of scary. I mean, the scrimmage was whatever exhibition. They I don't care. Like, obviously, you have first off Jabri, his uncle passing, absolutely terrible. So that was, we knew he wasn't going to play. But then you have, Pierre. Obviously, we know Hopkins, Rich Barron. Who else didn't play?
Asandiko was another one.
Yeah, Priest.
I think everyone else played. Osmond and Bonk played, the two bigs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think Corey Floyd was the only guy from last year. Fernandez got in.
Yep.
So, I think those four: Bryce, Pierre, Barron, Asandiko.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's more than likely 4 guys in your eventual starting lineup. Or at least 3, So definitely I'm not too concerned with that, with the game. But do we know what the injuries are, the extent, and if, they're going to be ready to go November 4th?
Yeah, I mean, Kim, I believe, said in an interview at Big East Media Day, saying it was a lot of just like nicks and bruises. I'm assuming none of it's – obviously you have Hopkins with the ACL, but I'm assuming nothing else is super serious. I'm sure it was just typical rest, get him ready for November 4th. Even if you get a couple DNPs from some of these guys early on, like I said before, they're scheduling, I mean, teams that are outside the top 300 in the country. So as far as a win-loss, definitely not concerned. But obviously you'd like to see some of these guys, how they're going to get integrated early.
Yeah, I would. I would like to see that. But yeah, it's never a good thing when you go, especially when you like your best player. We know Bryce is going to be banged up. We know it's going to take a little time for him to get back into the swing of things, whenever that might be. And there's no rush. You don't want to rush him back if you have any chance of competing for, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, whatever. Then Bryce needs to be a huge part of the team, the biggest part. He needs to be the best player. He needs to score, 19 points a game. I mean, it's inevitable. Like you need that, unless Corey Floyd can come out of nowhere, or Rich Barron can take a huge step forward. Then you just need Bryce. So can't rush him back, but definitely hoping for the best with the injuries. If we know something, we might have some inside scoops. We might have some scoops every now and then.
Who knows?
Who knows? And if we know something, we'll share it on the show. We won't tweet it out, because we're not looking to be, I'm not gonna. I don't like to be the, breaking. I'm not the breaking news guy. I want to make fun of the news. I'm not gonna break the news. I don't know. I don't have a lot of sources. I have a couple, and if we have a good quality source, then we'll break it. I like Kim's shared purpose thing. We talked a lot about the scrimmage, and the guys that are a little, seems like some guys are maybe not caring as much with the exhibition. You have a shared purpose, right? And you like, I'm doing a podcast in a hospital. It's all about shared purpose.
Yeah. That's grit. It's grit at its finest.
It really is.
No, I do like the shared purpose. I mean, it's so interesting with Kim, because, like, obviously as a Celtics fan, you kind of look at Missoula and he's so stoic and kind of very short with his answers, but he knows how to say a lot without saying much. That makes sense?
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, like, the mindset mantra. Just small things like that can basically, I mean, you can get an idea of a team's identity just by, saying we preach shared purpose, we preach mindset. So I think that's what I do like about Kim. He's never too high, he's never too low. But the shared purpose thing is obviously, that's what you want your team to have.
For sure. Yeah. They're going to have it. They're going to have it. So I know we touched on UConn a little bit. I wanted to put a segment aside every episode to talk about some of the teams around New England. Now, there's really not much going on yet, but we got two teams here that I follow very closely, mostly out of hate. Number one is, our little brothers, the South. That's the University of Rhode Island Rams basketball program, if you call it basketball, what they do down there. But, I know Mac, you kind of live a little bit close to that area. You must know some URI fans, right?
So yes, like, I know basically my entire graduating class went to URI.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even put it in the same conversation as far as a basketball school as PC.
Well, yeah.
But, like, yes, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like basketball isn't as much of a culture as it is down there as it is up in Providence.
Well, no, yeah, I definitely not even close, but they're a rival, and I'm not going to be like a UConn fan. Like, UConn fans are always like, "Oh, PC is not a rival," right? That's such
shit.
Yeah, it's such bullshit. We're in the same state. The game draws people every year. It's at URI this year, so kind of excited for that. I like going to the game there. I will be there. People like they yell at you, whatever. It's fun. I yell back. It's a good time. It's a good place to watch a basketball game. I like the Ryan Center a lot. It's small. It's easy to get in and out of. But I have some concerns about the URI basketball program. This is Archie's make or break year. They gotta put it together here, or else that program's on the brink. They're on the brink with NIL. Bad coaching hire. They are definitely on the brink.
So I will certainly be better once we get into the season. As far as A10 basketball, not the biggest expert, but I do know it's going to be a competitive league this year.
Yeah, I don't know anything about A10. I just know, URI, whatever.
Archie's definitely on the hot seat, I'd say. It's got to be a good year, but competitive Big Ten, you never know. Could get a couple bids in this year. But yeah, I'll definitely – one thing that always pops up for URI basketball for me is the 24-25 college basketball all-name team.
Yeah.
Always right.
Yeah, that's
a sick name. That is a sick name.
It's a sick name. They got some pretty good – they've had some pretty good names over the years.
Mm-hmm.
They also had some pretty good teams. I mean, honestly, they're an okay program. They have a really bad little brother syndrome, not nearly as bad as we do with UConn. We don't even, we're a better program than UConn at the end of the day, but
of course, naturally
they really just have so much hatred for us. But yeah, at some point we do have to talk about them a little bit, just because, there's some guys on Twitter that are interested. So, I promised we touch on the Rhody Rams. They open up against Fairfield. That's just Ed Cooley's old school versus URI. That's just
versus Dan Hurley's old school.
Ed Cooley's.
Well, yeah, Ed Cooley's old school versus Dan Hurley's old school.
Oh, sorry.
The absolute, of
course,
shit show.
Yeah,
that's a shit show.
Exactly, you're right. Yeah, that's the stepping stone battle. So, yeah, no, I think it'll be good. That's some good, solid New England basketball right in your face.
Yeah, and I'll definitely get more well-versed in my A10. Honestly, I will say when Hurley was there and, URI was kind of rolling for a little bit, they were like in that 7 to 10 range in March for a couple years in a row.
Yeah.
I was keeping tabs, I will say. But, Archie's on the hot seat for a reason. There hasn't been a product for me to really even keep tabs on. But I love the A10. I feel like it's like the Big East light almost.
One of the things I wanted to bring up is whenever URI's in the tournament and everyone's always like, oh, are you rooting for URI? Dude, no, absolutely fucking not. I'm not just because they're in the same state. I'm not going to root for them. The whole rooting for the Big East thing, that's one thing. I'll root for, if UConn gets to the Final Four, I'll root for them, whatever. I don't care. I'd rather them not win at times because their fans are annoying, and they already have 6 now. So I probably won't do that this year if they're in the Final Four. But I'm not going to root for URI in the round of 32 to make the Sweet 16, especially if PC's eliminated. I'm not going to do that. And everyone's like, oh, dude, you're not going to root for URI? Go Rhody. No, dude, I will never do that. I will never, ever do that.
I posted a video. It was just I basically edited the Pat McAfee Gimme Alabama video when they played UConn in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Someone just commented 4 times on the same tweet and was just you should be rooting for UConn. They're in the Big East. I'm like, don't tell me who to root for. I'll hate watch UConn until the end. Granted, national championship, I did want them to win because obviously you want the bragging rights for the Big East.
It was, when they got to the national championship, I was like, all right, whoever wins, whatever. Worst case, UConn loses and it's okay. It's bad for the league, whatever. But that also means that UConn loses and their fans are sad, and that's great.
Yeah.
It's someone said to me on Twitter, about the World Series, I treat the World Series like the Big East. I root for the AL East team. And he's a Red Sox fan, so he's rooting for the Yankees.
Ugh.
Touch grass, dude. That's that's so ridiculous. It's not like the AL East gets any benefit. The Big East gets money. The Big East money from UConn advancing through the tournament. The AL East doesn't get anything. Please don't root for if you're a Red Sox fan, please don't root for the Yankees. Please don't root for the Yankees. Or if you do, just block me, please. Unfollow me. pretend I do not exist, because that is just absolutely terrible. And I hope they lose tonight. The game is on pretty soon. Looking forward to that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
What sucks is what if this episode comes out and it's Tuesday night, Game 4. Yankees are about to tie up the series. Like, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, it's possible. They're good. I mean, they're not great, but they're good. The Dodgers are great. So I don't know. But speaking of fat pig Yankee fans, the UConn Huskies, we got to talk about them. They obviously are our rival, and they're a great program. Give them a ton of credit. Great fans. They absolutely just pull out all the stops on Twitter. But they're annoying. At the end of the day, they are annoying, and they are entitled, which is okay because they have 6 championships. But what do you think, or what do you expect to see out of the Huskies this year?
All right. So I'm not going to get bit by the same dog I got bit by last year and say that UConn lost all these guys. They're obviously going to be worse. Mm-hmm. So you put a gun to my head, tell me to make a Big East ranking. UConn's going to be 1.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. I think, and I mean, listen, if we're just going to go on a hate spree here, I think the Dan Hurley shtick about finding motivation and everything is getting old.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think him tweeting at some guy's computer algorithm saying, why didn't your math equation have us number 1?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's one thing I definitely wanted to get off my chest right there was that shtick is kind of it was cute for the first 1 or 2 championships. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
But like, come on.
Dan has me blocked. So I don't know anything. Everyone's like, oh
shit.
Yeah, he's had me blocked since URI.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that Dan Hurley had a funny tweet. Wouldn't know. He's had me blocked since the Stone Ages. Like, if you search, like, I had an old Twitter handle. If you search that, like, search Dan Hurley, like at Dan Hurley, like, yeah, I was in his replies, doing the same shit I've been doing now. Like, I've been on brand since like 2013. Just like,
hell yeah.
I saw Dan Hurley coach against Bryant. I'm from Smithfield. Went to a Bryant conference tournament game. They had like a really good team for the first time ever. And it's the first time I saw Hurley. Danny and Bobby were on the same sideline. This was like 2013. And I was like, this guy's so annoying. Like, he's yelling the whole time. It was a small gym. He's yelling the whole time, swearing the whole time. The fans are right on top of you, like, there's old crowds, like old people. It's like, it looks like it's like an A.
Wine and cheese.
Yeah, they give you like free tickets to old people. And it's like, he's just like yelling like F this, just nonstop the whole game. Intense guy, great coach. I was like, wow. Then he got the job at URI. I was like, this guy, URI, hate this guy. So started tweeting at him, whatever, blocked me, gone. Now he's at UConn. He's one of the best college basketball coaches of all time. So got to give him credit. But yeah, he has me blocked. So
no shit. I need to get blocked by more accounts. I think like there's a list of people who a lot of people will say, oh yeah, he or she blocked me.
Yeah.
I think the only person I'm blocked by is that kid Kyle from UConn, who blocked literally the entirety of Big East Twitter.
Yeah, he blocked me as well. I have a pretty decent block list. Dan Hurley is up there. Someone else really funny. Jeff Goodman blocked me. I can't remember.
I think I need to get more out of pocket.
Yeah, I think Will Middlebrooks has me blocked.
What the hell?
Random. Yeah. I was like in a Twitter argument that someone was like shitting on him and he just blocked everyone.
No shit.
Yeah, super weird. But nonetheless, it's it's whatever. He's soft. So UConn. So back to UConn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to be number 1 in the Big East. I do not think they're going to three-peat. I don't think they have the guns to three-peat. I think that they're going to be absolutely missing Klingon a lot. And Caravan's a good player. I would even say he's a great player, but he's not like a first-team All-American type player. And without that, they're going to really not be able to fill the holes that are left from last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and before I go back to the well and just hate on UConn again,
Yeah.
I want to preface, because I do want this on record. I respect Dan Hurley as a coach, and between the lines, I respect Dan Hurley. I think he's a great coach. I think he's accomplished a lot. I think I've heard him talk in interviews, and the way he talks about his offensive system and everything. I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty about offensive systems, but like the way he talks about it and understands it and implements it with his players, like I have respect for that. And he knows how to get guys who do the right things that work in that system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, basketball coach wise, he's awesome. I give him a ton of credit. And, I was hoping he would take the Lakers job, but he didn't. I also kind of like him in the Big East. I like that. And he hates the cool thing is this guy absolutely despises PC, and he can't even hide it. Like we live in his walls, and he like is so much more successful, but he just can't. Like he's winning a national championship, and he's like, "Take that, Providence!" Like, and his wife is like obsessed with us.
Yeah,
so weird, but we just get under people's skin so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so easy, and
it's an art. Someone call it an art.
It is. Oh no, it's definitely art. That's for damn sure.
But all right, so now that I praised Dan Hurley and absolutely glazed him, and I feel gross, I'm never going to do that again. I can say how if Alex Karaban is on your like preseason All-American first team, you either don't know basketball or you're carrying Dan Hurley's water.
Yeah,
there's no in between. He's a great shooter, great role player. He's not like an Ochai Agbaji is going to take over games, or like a Jimmer Fredette. Like he's not that type of guy. Like he's not going to be the guy for you. If let's say UConn three-peats. I don't want to imagine that world, but let's just go into that realm for a second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be because Alex Karaban scores almost 20 a game. It's not because Alex Karaban is going to be averaging 20, 10, and 5 and is a matchup nightmare.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that fits well with Hurley because they can get open shots for him, and he's a good knockdown shooter, and that's plain and simple. But like Klay Thompson's not going to win an MVP.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like
I do think he's a good player, great at what he does. I just don't think he's not going to be like a Mark Sears who can single-handedly take over a game in March.
Yeah, I will say I do like Hassan Diarra.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a good player. I think he'll do well, especially with Karaban, with Samson Johnson, whatever. We'll see what they got. I think, and they also have like that's the thing. These white boys they got coming in. I mean, they could be a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
That could be like your Cam Spencer right there.
Yep.
So I mean, who knows? They could. I think they'll be a top 10 team pretty much all year. I don't think they're going to repeat. I just don't.
Just the likelihood to win one. Obviously, like hats off to UConn. To win one is hard, but like to win the third, and like I'm going to look like an idiot if it happens and someone comes back in April and sees this, but like to win one is hard. To do three with a target on your back, and then obviously Hurley's off the court antics, like there's going to be a big red circle target on UConn's back all year.
Yeah, big time. No, big time. I agree, 100%. Well said. So we have something pretty special planned. I think we're going to kind of get into that. What we want to do, my vision for this is, like I said, to incorporate the PCBC as much as possible. So we have some submissions from people. And, we're going to be reaching out to people throughout the year, getting their thoughts, maybe on a game, maybe on a specific topic, hot topic, whatever. And we're just looking for you to be genuine. We want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your voice. We want to give you guys a voice as much as possible because you've kind of given us one. So we're going to kind of start with those. The first one that we have is from Pierre Baguette, and he actually has a prompt. So he has a question So we're going to run through that. I'll play that right now.
What's up, Leb? What's up, Mac? Hope you guys are doing well. Very excited for this podcast. I think you both are going to crush it. This is the Baguette here. So yesterday, Ghost of the 2020 Friars put out a poll asking if anyone's ever taken a shit at the amp. And I thought this was going to be a question or a poll where 99% of people said no and only 1% of people said yes and admitted to taking crap at the dunk or the amp. Those bathrooms are disgusting. The lines are typically really long, and I would just have crazy bathroom anxiety, taking minutes in a stall, putting down a dump. So the poll actually got 40% of people saying that they had taken a dump at the amp, which is just absurd and baffling to me. So my question to you guys is, are you guys a part of that 40%? And then my second question is, in the spirit of Halloween, what are some niche Friar costumes that you could think of? I think personally I'm going to go as DJ Finesse, but I'm happy to hear what your brains could come up with.
Yeah. So that was great. Loved it. Now, I do have a little bit of a two-part answer to that question. So I have shit at the dunk. Just going to come out right and say it. I've shit at the dunk. I've also puked at the dunk. Now, I've never shit during a game. I've shit there because I actually used to work for the Providence Bruins. So our office was in the dunk. And I would go down in the concourse, empty bathroom, no one bothering me. It was bliss. It was heaven. But during a game, it's not that I would have anxiety. It's just I would be more concerned about missing something, missing the game. I tend to take long dumps. I don't want to rush through it. So I probably won't unless I really just gotta just let it go. But I did vote yes in the poll because I technically have shit in the dunk. Now, puke during a game, that has happened twice. So, yeah.
I will say like we said at the beginning, grew up going to the dunk. 9-year-old Mac doesn't have the concept of, oh, this bathroom's gross.
Right.
I've shit multiple times. Listen, tenders and fries going out the back end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've shit at the dunk quite a few times. Now, I think once my tiny little mind matured enough to realize, oh, this is probably gross, I stopped.
Yeah.
And most public bathrooms in general at this point. But so I did vote yes, but I can't say for sure that I have taken a shit at the dunk in the past decade.
Okay.
And then as for the Halloween costume,
yep.
I almost dressed as a priest or a friar.
Yeah, 100%.
I had a Halloween party this past weekend, and I couldn't land a priest costume or friar costume, whatever it may be. I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna dress as a friar. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna tweet it. It's gonna banger tweet. PCBC is gonna love that.
Yep.
Unbeknownst to me, no costumes to be found in Bristol County.
Yeah.
And I ended up going as a banana. So probably my worst costume. To this point so far.
Friar is good. Friar's a good one. That was the first thing that popped into my head. In fact, I had that same idea. Then, kind of had some health stuff crop up, so wasn't able to take advantage of Halloween weekend. But yeah, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I think I should be like Father Jordan, like a friar.
See?
Absolute patriot. And she could just be like a player,
Okay.
Now
so I was also thinking, because you mentioned your girlfriend. I think, Baguette, I'm not sure what your relationship status is, but if you are cuffed, I think a good couple's costume would be Ed Cooley and a Foxy Lady Dancer.
Don't quote me on this. I feel like he is taken. I think he did post something about girlfriend day. I don't know. Don't
could be a good couple's costume.
He could be a couple's costume. Like I don't know, a tall boy. You could be a tall boy.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, something to do like with just beers, you know?
Yeah. What if? I mean, they obviously don't sell them in stores, but like a homemade. The Friars mascot is already scary enough. Like if it's like a homemade one, it would look terrifying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I think would be cool? I think like to go as like a PC pep band, you know? Like that'd be kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Just like two like not band people at all. Like I'm like the farthest thing from a band kid, but like if I was dressed like as like the PC pep band, I think that would be pretty funny. You know, that'd be shout out to the pep band. They're awesome. Like they're phenomenal. I'm not ragging on because they're band.
They kill it.
Yeah, I think it's just a good costume. Like the way they dress, you know, whatever.
100%.
But that was a good one. That was great because it was a question. So let's move on here. We got another one. This one is from Mr. Eduardo, also known as Hughes Friars.
What's up, everyone? This is Eduardo, known as Hughes Friars on Twitter, and the season is almost here. 7 more days until we get to see tip-off against Central Connecticut State. Cannot describe how excited I am for Friars hoops. We got some key transfers in place, kept a lot of key pieces, bringing in a couple very good freshmen for the 2024 class. This team's going to be special. As a person in upstate New York, going to be very jealous watching all you guys walk into the amp for the first time next Monday. Also, super stoked. Get to listen to Mac and Leb talk Friars hoops all the time now. It's going to be an awesome podcast. Anyways, it's always go Friars, and I'll see you all in San Antonio when we cut the nets down.
All right. We
got
to
fire it up. Chills. When I hear see you in San Antonio,
yep.
Chills.
We got a Nets cutting down prediction from Hughes Friars. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, I don't hate it. I could see this team getting hot at the right time, putting it together, and then, you know, we're partying in San Antonio. I mean, that'd be sick. But shout out Hughes Friars. I mean, kind of good audio voice, good podcast voice. You know, we'd love to have you back on. I thought that was, you know, pretty spot on for, you know, a nice little quick 60-second prediction.
Quick technical question. Can you hear any whining in the background?
Yeah, it sounds like a dog.
Yep. Yeah, he's
that's all right.
Getting all riled up right now.
Yeah. If I wasn't in the hospital, my dog would be like on my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be something we're going to have to work through as well for me.
We'll get better.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Next, we got friend of the show, Mr. Hollywood of RI, Mindset Hollywood. He is coming to us from Dublin, Ireland. So let's see what Mr. Hollywood has to say.
Hollywood of RI is stopping by out of respect here from Dublin, Ireland, to give my thoughts on the season. The Friars are back like never before, with a spectacular late-night madness, already creating major headlines from tweets, and a very solid exhibition game. The positive morale in Friartown can be felt here across the pond in Dublin. Not going to make any long-term predictions now, but will say that as a day one Seaflow guy, he will have the season this year that we've needed from him before. Don't sleep on him. Amped for this pod, this season, and all the banter to come. Go Friars forever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great kid. Love that kid. He's you know, he's going to be very active in the student section this year. So, you know, I love the energy from across the pond all the way in Ireland.
That's the homeland. Yo, yeah. Hollywood, you're in the homeland, brother.
There you go, dude. I mean, Mac doesn't get any more Irish than that. Yeah, no, I mean, I could feel it too. I could feel it. You know, the energy there is it's Dublin is Friartown now. So that's at least what people are saying. Yeah. So we got one more, and this one is my personal favorite. And this guy, he's going to be a staple on this show, and I'll be pretty upset if we don't get a soundbite from this gentleman every week. This is one Mr. Tommy Gufano.
Hey, how you doing? It's me, Tommy Gufano, reporting live from a sold-out bus stop in Kennedy Plaza, where I just received a text from my wife, who is away on business despite not having a job. My wife tells me she is currently in Tijuana, where she stopped by a black market Botox clinic and ran into Andrea Hurley, who says Dan deeply regrets not taking the Laker job. He said, and I quote, "Oh my God, Tim English is building a monster. They have this guy named Anton Bunk, who makes Donovan Clingan look like Earl Boykins," end quote. So yeah, Danny is not doing well. But despite that, though, the Friars are excited for their first matchup against the Blue Devils. You know, Blue Devils, this is the best Blue Devils teams I've seen in a long, long time. Anyways, Friars by 50. But also, my last point, Jaden Pierre, extremely disrespected in the Big East media. He's going to be an all Big East player, and you can take that to the bank with you. Thank you.
All right, so first and foremost, I've had the pleasure of having a few beers with Tommy. He is the human embodiment of a Friar fan. Personality, just the look, like he is what it means to be a Friar. Like he's like if they did like, you know, like how AI will like you can put in like, you know, AI and then it'll give you like an image of what that person looks like.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in like Providence College, local Providence College Friar basketball fan, it would make Tommy Gufano. And he's just got an electric personality. And I mean, that's going to be a staple every week. We might even have him on here. You know, he's just incredible. So that was absolutely hilarious. The Andrew Hurley.
So you said AI would make, you know, give me a prototypical Providence fan, and it would come out as Tommy Gufano?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You just doxed Tommy Gufano because you basically just told everyone that Tommy Gufano is Channing Tatum. So,
yeah.
The jig's up, Tommy.
Exactly, yeah. No, but he does. He really does, and you know, he's an awesome dude, and he loves to have a good time. He loves to party. And, you know, he loves to have a little disagreement with his wife, which is, I mean, that's just that's what it's about. Being an American is that's what being an American is all about. So, you know, good for Tommy.
Yeah, no, that was electric.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I like that.
Yes.
I didn't laugh at the Andrea Hurley part. I didn't laugh.
I did.
I don't want to end up on any bulletin boards. We're not laughing. We don't think this is funny for anyone watching. When I listened to that for the first time, I wasn't mid-sip and I didn't spit my water out laughing. So I want that in writing. I want that on the record. We didn't find that funny.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. But if you want to get a little soundbite on the show, just hit my DMs. You know, we got plenty of spaces. Again, this is just the first ones. We want to hear from everybody. Right, we want to put you on the show. We want to reach out to the fans, you know, touch the fans. And this is just a show by the fans for the fans. You know, we're not coming here for vibes. We're going to talk about. We'll talk about some good tweets. You know, we don't have anything like that for today. You know, the Big East Twitter sphere is kind of dead. Although Yuli and Fryer are getting into a little bit of a Twitter beef. You should check it out. It's great. But yeah, we'll have some funny tweets for you. We'll you know, go through those, what you missed. Other than that, the Friars, I'm pumped. We're almost there.
National champs.
I mean, that's what people are saying.
There's all the experts are saying it.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Really.
Like, per sources, all the experts are saying Friars are winning the national championship. I'm not saying that, but some people are. The people are talking.
The people, there are definitely conversations. So we'll monitor that situation moving forward. See how that goes. As of right now, you know, Mac, do you have anything else you want to add?
You mentioned the tweets. I was going to send you Fried. You mentioned Fried. I was going to send you his his daily kidney post, which shout out to Fried.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Of the D Wade statue. Like, that's just perfect storm of current events. I was like,
Yeah.
this might deserve the very first tweet of the day. But we'll save the tweet of the days or tweet of the weeks, whatever, for future episodes. But I think that might be a good segue into something you wanted to mention as well.
Yeah, so for sure, I did want to give an update, and yeah, we will be doing the tweet of the week. This was just supposed to be like kind of like an introduction. Want to let you guys know what you can expect, what we can promise moving forward, and then also just lastly, just an update about my health. So obviously, if for those who don't know about the Dwayne Wade statue, Friar, he does this thing every single day, where he photoshops my face onto a different celebrity or meme, and he posts the link where you can donate a kidney or put in your information to donate a kidney, and it's just incredibly unbelievable. It's incredibly honorable. I am still on the search for a kidney. The transplant people at Rhode Island Hospital don't tell you anything. So they basically create this like firewall between the donor and the recipient, because there's just a lot of like HIPAA stuff that goes into it rather. And so I'm still looking for a kidney. I don't know where some of the people that volunteered are in the process. They can update me voluntarily. I haven't got really many updates. So, it can be a long process too. You got, blood tests, checkups, things like that. So, if you are interested, reach out. I'll give you my information. You can put it in there. I am in the hospital now. So they're trying to figure out, maybe what the cause of this all is, because I've been feeling extra shitty lately. So I do have a biopsy tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And we'll see how everything goes on that front. But special shout out to Fried Friar for the posts. And if you just go to his Twitter, you can see all of them. He did Ohtani yesterday. He did a Derek Jeter the other day. He did the Dwayne Wade statue today. So just an awesome guy. Have also met Mr. Fried. Great guy. So that's the update for the health. Mac, you got anything?
Honestly, I was letting you do your thing. I was on mute. The dog's still doing his thing over there. But yeah, shout out to Fried. Fried is like one of those few gems that you find that like very rarely is it ever anything not funny or positive so shout out to you, Fried, and obviously you're spreading the good word for the kidney. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in to this week's show. It's only going to get better. We're looking forward to bringing you a lot of good content throughout the year. A great year, hopefully. And go Friars.
Go Friars, baby.
All right. Peace out.